All right, that's it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second. Make sure everything's all working fine. We get cracking. Man, I need a fucking. Oh man, I didn't get time to do my beard. Yeah, that was it. It's a Friday. I wanted to do my beard as well. I didn't get time. I jumped on a voice chat with the guys, but never mind. I have to do that fucking on the weekends anyway. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Welcome to another episode of Dank's what's it called? Dank's Daily Trade. That's it. Yeah, Dank's Daily Trade. What are you saying, guys? Hope you guys doing well. Been an interesting one. I mean, like for those who follow me on Twitter, I'm in a short on BNB. I'll run that through with you guys in a bit as well in terms of how I'm looking to play this. Yes, I'm looking for low for a range low. Doesn't mean that that's my final target. I'll be taking profits on the way down. We'll work this out there. But first off, let's do the morning shout out there. Want to say to you guys, thank you so much for joining. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, and fucking let's just kill this. Let's kill the market, whatever's left in the market there. So we got Mr. M in the house. We got Bomb Biggie, Cruz is in the house, Angry Patrick. I was gonna say Angry Patrick. AI. We got Cryptique in the house. Morning to you too, Luis Lee. How you doing? Ahoy, my friend. We got Doodoo B. What's going on, bro? Howdy, guy. We got John. What's going on? John Caboose as well is in the house as well. Come on. Smash the likes, everybody. This is a special episode really as well. This is in partnership with Metaverse Monkeys. Now Metaverse Monkeys are, you guys have seen me speak about it as well. I'm gonna go through it briefly. I'm actually gonna go through the whitelist as well, just to break it down. It is like the next generation of NFTs, and they're looking to really evolve NFTs, and it's a fucking massive beautiful thing. To start off first, right? Let me just want to read this to you because I think this is one of the best introduction I've seen ever in my life. Right? This is it. Imagine that you walk into a millionaire lounge, right? Right. So you're there, you're in the millionaire lounge. You see bear mans with suits and fucking sunglasses, Louis Vuitton, smelling like fucking like rich motherfuckers in it, right? And to sign up, they ask for $1,000 as a lifetime membership. You'd say, of course, because you want to join the millionaire club, and you hand over the money. They give you a complimentary diamond watch, right? Picture your fucking Patek Philippe, your fucking Rolex or whatever you want to have. And that's the proof of your status. You put it on, it's shiny, it feels good, and everyone's all blessed, everyone's all chilling, right? And on your way home, you receive a call, and it's the boss. Sir, by the way, if you want to leave Millionaire Lounge, never a problem. Just sell your membership to someone waiting for $1,000 or plus, and there's no risk for you. Which means, so if you're gonna sell your because you bought the membership for $1,000, right? Whether you want to sell it for less or sell it for more, depending on what the market is saying, you can get rid of it, and then that's your way. You're leaving the Millionaire Lounge, okay? Now, when you think about a millionaire lounge, right, joining in a lounge like that, you got to think of yourself as what's the speciality behind it? What's so good about it? Like there's got to be a reason why people joining this lounge, right? Obviously, there's gonna be some exclusivity just for you guys because you're in that lounge, and you expect that you, as one of the 100 people, 1,000 people who join this lounge, will have to get this exclusivity, whether it's I don't know, fucking merch, whether it's diamond rings or whatever it is, or discount. That's kind of stuff that you want to be looking for. But if you do, you lose your membership benefits, and you must hand them back, including your watch. You return home elated, laughing. The watch is going nowhere. You do know that watch is not going anywhere. And this is the new era of NFTs. And I've got to say, like what TS7 is doing. Shout out to Crypto Shadow as well. He's fucking evolving NFT in a whole different step. Right, so I want to run through the whitelist before we actually do the whole scenario itself. But I gotta say the art is fucking gorgeous though. Where's the... No, not the whitelist. That's fucking wrong. Where's the fucking thingy? White paper. There we go. Run through the white paper and then we go through it. Okay. So the introduction on this. So they're gonna have 999 NFTs, and it's the same beautiful industry-first AI-generated NFTs that deliver value by granting each individual holder access to an exclusive wealth-building network. The one thing that you gotta remember when it comes to crypto, right? You can make money. That's not a problem. The bull run is very easy to make money. You buy long, you hold whatever you want to do. You sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top. That kind of nonsense you want to do. But the truth is, if you want to excel in terms of growth in any sort of business, right, and including crypto is really, really key thing, which I've learned over the last 2 years while building my Twitter, which is why I tell you guys to build your Twitter, build your account, build your confidence as well, trade, do your NFT, do your analysis as well, post them up there. You guys can actually always at me up there as well. It's always blessing it. And that's with networking, that's how you get access to other things. For example, Flowkey was one. That's via networking. I got in that 4 million market cap. I've openly talked about it a few times. Got in a 4 million market cap, and that shit did fucking 250x, actually, more than 250x. And it was phenomenal, and that's via networking. So this is one idea of you networking by building with other members in the group as well. There's a good friend called Satoshi Flipper. He's involved in it. We've got there's a number of guys. I know Shadow obviously is obviously involved. I can tell you the names that was also involved in this. Let me just fucking give you a couple of members there. Vegeta, Conqueror, Poseidon, Phoenix is in there. Limbo's Jackis. We've got Nagato, Falcon. These are the geezers, right? Like they build themselves up as well, and we've all got partnership with them as well. And then I've got a partnership with them by holding the NFT itself. One of the partnership is you get 20%. I think it's 20% or 25% discount. I can't remember what was it as agreed, but it's on the tweet that I have. So 20% discount to join the DCC, right? So it's about $100, 20%, it's $80, or is it 25%, $75? It becomes cheaper by holding the NFT. The moment you sell your NFT, then I'm sorry, you're not gonna get your 25% discount. It's the same principle as well. So they were made to reward users of the Tier 7 network by transforming what would normally be subscription liability into asset, right? So the idea of actually paying every month. Holding the NFT itself is your subscription. That's your ability to actually join the Tier 7 network and have the networking that's available to you. So the Tier 7 is looking to evolve in a very fascinating thing. And to be honest with you guys, I actually joined Tier 7 a long time ago. I think I was in the group, and I gotta say that Shadow himself is a fucking legend. Yeah, he's a legend. When it comes to what do you call it, to alts, he's the go-to man. He really is a really strong guy, a geezer that I actually know. He called out a lot of alts itself at the bottom. He called a lot of what do you call it, at the bottom, a lot of swing trade. He's a very good swing trader, and I think when it comes to alts, he's one of the key players as well. And I always have an open ear with him. He's one of the very few people I listen to. For example, there was one called Lyx, Lyxe. He told me about it when it was just under $1, and that did a 14x for us as well. So, but yeah, he did fascinating fucking play as well. So a lot of the alt run itself during the bull run is, from him listening to me. I remember there was another one. There was a Pokemon degen play as well. I did I think it was a 20x off that as well. So that was a fucking no, more than that. I think about 20x. I did a 20x move as well. Cut the trade as well. It was nearly the top. Actually, when I cut it off there. So that was all Shadow. So that's shout out to Shadow. For those who don't know who Shadow is, let me plug him in. Let me plug in Shadow. Shadow. Crypto Shadow. This is the guy you want to follow as well. Crypto Shadow. OFF off. Right. He's the guy as well. He's phenomenal geezer. Definitely is worth a follow as well. So the current industry problems, the truth about the NFT is that it's in its infancy, right? Is that there's poor quality cartoons that offer you. When I say poor quality cartoons, we've seen some of the bullshit cartoons we've seen, but compared to this picture as an NFT, you've got to say fucking hell. And they offer the user nothing in return apart from speculation or perceived value. You mint an NFT, you hold it, and hope that you're part of a speculative crew. Everyone wants to be like in the next Bored Ape. Everyone's trying to find what's the next Bored Ape yacht, the BAYC, and so you'd be trying to hold these alts. A lot of alts NFTs. A lot of these guys who are actually holding NFTs are still fucking, it's under the floor. It's under the value where it is. So you got a high, you got a floor value, and it's just, and as the market, if the market dumps, it dumps heavy as well. So NFTs took a beating, a very hard beating. And yeah, so that you were part of a speculative crew that managed to shield the art into popularity despite the promise of a flashy future. The common route is for a project to burn bright up for a time and then fade away into embarrassing degradation. Fucking hell. They were designed to watch the true holders get absolutely slaughtered. That's actually true, because it's like alts in it. Like how many times you buy an alt, you think like, yo, Ethereum is going to go up to 10k. So you bought Ethereum at 5k. Not 5k, a 3k or 4k, and it's down to 1K at the moment. It's not looking fucking good as well. It's a similar situation as well, but this one they evolve it into a whole different scenario where the utility behind it, just like with like projects of on the market, crypto market. The key thing is always which they're trying to push out is utility, and this has its utility, which we'll talk about. Unless you're a master flipper, the risk is inherently high, and it's not fucking good. So 5 value proposition. So like holding this right as part as art piece. Oh, sorry, holding this right. Let's just go through what they have right. So the metaverse, the meta monkeys were made to evolve this mechanism through the application of direct value and ticket ownership. It does this through 6 formats. Okay, the first one we've got as art pieces that stands out on their own merits. Look at this, man. You gotta admit, this is fucking clean, fam. Fucking beautiful. It's beautiful, beautifully actually prepared. Whoever actually was the guy behind doing this art, it is beautiful. You gotta say, this is probably the nicest looking NFT that you can possibly actually buy, to be honest. And as an asset attached to the real world value, each NFT is a ticket and login pass to an elite investment community, which is tier 7, where the individual will get access to world-class education, timely info, market context, guidance, and exclusive investment, all from a community that has a proven track record. Tier 7 has a proven track record. They've been at it for about, I believe, 4 years, actually. I remember 4 years, because I remember I joined in at 2018. Yeah, I joined in at the early stages. I was in the tier 7 group as well. I was in there for quite some time. And when it comes to alts, I'm telling you, it was just some of you don't even know this, right? But when it came to April bull run, like the alt run, mini alt run of 2018, it was Shadow who actually messaged me from the bottom. So yo, alt is gonna pop, and he was right. He was absolutely right. He smashed it. So he's fucking sick. So having this NFT allows you to have access to the tier 7 and have all the analysis that goes on. Especially like with Shadow's analysis is fucking mad. As a tradable membership pass, you trade your ownership. The asset acts as a membership pass that is tradable. This means you are able to sell your subscription as an asset to somebody else if you either want to leave the community or you have finished learning. This completely removes the risk as a consumer. In short, your ownership can be traded. So you can actually sell your membership at any time for whatever the price you want to, be it more than $1,000 or less than $1,000, whatever you want to sell it. You just pass it on to someone else. And obviously, you won't have access to tier 7 or to the network there. As a high net worth status symbols, each NFT acts as a status symbol because it grants the user access into an already functioning network. It's scarce and highly likely set for appreciation. This becomes stronger as a network inevitably grows. The definition of investment. So says a lot there. As a multifaceted scarce investment, the investment doesn't just give you access to a speculative appreciating status symbol, but also the play out of everything the NFT grants you access to. As entry into a rare collaborative environment, the possibility of having one server where everyone is trained to think in similar ways. So it's like like the DCC is trying to build a community to actually, to think, to trade on your own in your own view. Be a trader yourself and be understanding of what's going on and have the understanding of the market on the upside there. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Apologies for the disturbances there. Okay, yeah. So, it's to train everyone else. What I was saying about like the DC is trying to grow individuals itself to actually become a more forward-thinking, individual thinking type of trader. So you in trade the environment to what feels that you're comfortable with, and this is what they're trying to do in TS7, very similar as well. And they've been at it for 4 years, so they're fucking killing it one after another as well. Access to a community perks down the lineup such as merch and events. Being a first generation holder will give you access to exclusive airdrops, interesting merch, events, whitelist access, and anything else the network chooses to expand into or provide. So as the network just starts to grow with TS7, and it grows into with different collaborations with different groups, different projects, for example, we get access to whitelist, to anything that goes on, even events. We don't know what kind of events will come up in the future. So for example, if you look at it this way, I had a thingy with I had access to the Big Get after party, right? And that's through networking as well, networking with Crypto Burb, and I was able to actually go to the Big Get event after party as well. It was really nice. Got to see a lot of people as well, X, Y, Z, and get to know people, and people get to know who I am. Didn't look like this, obviously. I looked a lot better. My beard looks like a fucking mess, man. This without, but so yeah, so by joining this group itself, it gives you that ability to really go into a whole different world, really, as well. So what else we got? UPS, USP. It's an industry first basis. So it's first come first serve, right? So you hold the NFT, you hold it, you sell it, you sell it. So there's 999. Once it gets minted, it's done. It's over. Kaput, finish. So the only way to buy it is someone's gonna sell the membership, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sell you shit. I'm keeping mine. I'm keeping mine as it is. But yeah. So in terms of the success of TS7, let's just go through this quickly. So because I've said it in my own personal view, I just want to share it there, and I can go lead on some points on there. So what's important for minters to know is that the network that the NFT grants access to is not new but old. It's been there for 4 years. It's been running successfully for 4 years. It's a path to an already functioning community that has on record helped its member to produce millions, and I've got to agree to that as well. This therefore helps it, by definition, move away from being a speculative bet, but a useful asset. This can be seen in these following testimonials, and you can see the testimonials. Check it out on the whitelist, white paper. You can just check it all out there. What else should we cover? And the project will just evolve as it goes without saying that since the very idea of our network provides access to both information opportunities that would not be otherwise be possible. So you know how I talk to you guys and say to you guys like, oh, you want to build your Twitter, build access, not access, your network and whatnot. It's the same situation. By joining this one, you've actually have access to a lot of highly, top class influencers there, and you can grow this as it goes on. And you just check it out, man. I'm telling you, it is fucking sick. So they're going to do a lot of airdrops. The roadmap's all there. Benefits of minting a first gen. You get access to expansion, first move advantages, ranked NFT. Second generation holders do not get a master pass. So if you're a second generation holder, which would be one of those you actually bought off someone else, it's not the same as actually having the first generation one. And like I said, man, look at this freaking artwork, man. Obviously, these are rare, in terms of the rarity scales and what you would get with it as well. There was another thing I wanted to drop. Bonus drops. Yeah, there was this one. Yeah, there we go. So the bonus drops is an interesting one. So bonus mints are Metaverse monkeys, NFTs that are minted, come with a special feature that are 2 categories of a bonus drop, equaling to about a total of 50. So you got the galactic one. So if you were able to get your hands on the 10 of the galactic rank monkeys, which are an absolute rarest tier available, the minting contract will send you back all your Solana. I believe they moved back to Ethereum now because of the whole Solana shit show. I have to double check that, but I believe that's the fact. They moved back to they've gone to Ethereum on the Ethereum network, and the mint will be absolutely free. So you get your money back if you get the galactic. So that's something there. And then you got the jewel one. So you got like if you were able to get your hands on the twin NFT, which are any of these twin baby monkeys hiding into the NFT mints, you will get to bring a friend in absolutely free. And this friend will not own an NFT, but they'll be able to use the network if you own the NFT. So if you sell your NFT, your friend's fucked, then so you gotta chat to your friends like, yo, listen. Don't sell it in it. Don't sell it. But yeah, got the facts all there. It's all perfectly fine. It's one of those ones that I would definitely recommend to each and every one of you guys there. I'm telling yourself that look, I'm not shedding it to you guys in a way of like, yo, buy this and this is gonna be shit. No, I'm shedding this to you in a way that look, there's a lot of learning opportunities, a lot of growth out of it, a lot of a way to build. It's a shortcut, really. It's a shortcut to actually grow your account and grow yourself as a human being and as a person in the space in a very, very quick, explosive way. Because having all the information that you need at the very, you know, in your fingertips, you can't fucking say no to that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say no to it, man. So, 1 second there. And I just want to touch base on, yeah. So, real network means effortless power. Click more to read about the network. Let's click on that. The tier 7 network proposition is all here. To read a lot more to it, if you go to the tier 7 network, so if you go on to www.tier7trading.com/NFT, you'll come up to this page. Go to the bottom of it. It's somewhere around here. Yes, you see a real network means effortless powers, and you click on this button, and what happens? You get to this page here, tier 7 network proposition. And let's just go quickly touch base on this. Perhaps the most secretly annoying thing in an industry is not having a squad to call on a bad time and want to exploit the gold rush. In school, we call this being popular. Life never stops being in school. Just almost speed through it as well. So there'll be 1,000 network effects of 1,000 clones. So imagine you swipe open your phone and you're able to access the network full of investors and traders, all trained to a competent standard. Then you got like network operation. I just got brought this to my attention just now, actually. So I'm gonna run this through with you. I didn't get to read it properly as well. So step 1, secure the network operation GigaBrain. Well, the first step in this process is to develop a core network that will be the base of everything that is to come. In order to achieve this, we'll have to use 5 lanes. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The network, the NFT are used in a very clever fashion to make sure we could secure such a network. The art was made was made to be a status symbol, like your gold watch or your diamond watch. The price puts off a weird NFT speculative investors, and the risk mechanism rewards all early adopters for their loyalty. And then step 2 is how the network will be leveraged in tier 7. The server, the members will be guided to interact with each other, incentivized to contribute, educated, and represented by us under the name of tier 7 network. You can read that all out there for yourself. Step 3 is how the members will post and how content will work. All the above speaks for itself. However, let's quickly just talk about making sure the content is organized. In our server, there will be 2 main contribution categories. The network will be filtration process for the best ideas from one category, ending up in the top categories. Tier 7 will post their own content from there, so you get to post it as well. Then category 1 is the opportunities. This is where all the best ideas in the server end and float to the top. All right, so everyone wants to see where this opportunities. Well, like, what is the next 100x? So it's going to be in the first category. Ideas found directly by the team and its net will be posted here. Ideas from category 2 will be repackaged by the team and reposted there. And also, and especially those that has over 100 reacts will be auto posted there. So, like, you know, you like it and you put a thumbs up and a heart and whatnot, that will also be put up into opportunities because it's gaining the traction there. And the category 2 is rank submission. This is where all the rank members will post their contribution. Whitelist members that come with experience will have posting rights here. Anyone that is highly competent will also be able to post, or anyone that has received a rank from in the network recognition. So as you build yourself up, and if you're an influencer and you are someone who actually knows what you're talking about, you know how to trade, you're going to have an opportunity to actually post your submission over there. What else is there? How would the users be incentivized to take part? First, there's no forceful obligation for members to contribute. That is not our approach. The network is a resource. We will have enough material to support the network. Instead, we will have faith that we will deliver too much value. Members will feel inspired of their own accord. So, which comes to this idea of that when you're posting an idea, right? You know how everyone actually posts their ideas, and like in a group, right? You have some people who was a bit scared, some people who was more competent, not competent, but more unfearful. They like to be outgoing and prefer to take risk, and they post the ideas. That's when, like, you're watching other people do it as well, and as you watch, you grow and you learn and you educate yourself, then you will also start taking part of this as well. And let's have a look. The value in NFT, which we covered it a little bit, but you guys can check it out there. Tier 7 network, the Metaverse monkeys, check it out. You can't go wrong with it. I'm telling you, you really can't go wrong with it. And for those who wants to make it in networking and wants to make it pages left, there's just a few. You can guys read it up there. But if you guys want to make it in terms of actually building a network, building your account, having more resources at your own very fingertips, Metaverse monkeys is definitely one touch to check out. I want to get involved in this a lot more than any other project myself personally. So that's me. So let's get cracking then. So what we've got here is BDC. Let's talk about dollar index. It is a Friday. Is it a thingy? Is it what you call it? Freaking holiday today. I believe it's the Thanksgiving Friday itself, isn't it? Right? Am I right in saying that? So it's a public holiday, correct? So I didn't check it out properly, but I believe that, so the market's going to be a little bit slow. But let's just go through the market itself and see what's going on. I'm in a short on BNB, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Let me just get my cigarette ready. Let me get this cracking on there. But otherwise, everyone all good? Who else is in the house? Fucking, we got Hafalal. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. We got Ish A. What's going on, brother? Pizza. Bombiggy. What's going on, Thomas? Good to have you here. ACM Crypto. Good to have you here. SB at work. It's nothing special, but I understand they pay money to promote. Artwork is nothing special. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, in terms of the tier 7, I'm not getting paid for this. Just to be brutally honest with this, I've just, it's all for me. That's my networking. I build a partnership with them, and I believe in an opportunity, and so why not? Why not? Big man, good to have you here. Captain Cruz, it has been a while. Thank you so much for actually jumping on. Thank you so much for actually being on the show. Smash the likes. Let's get cracking. Let's talk about freaking Bitcoin now, okay? So, cars in the house as well, man. I think the market will open later this afternoon. Oh, is it? Okay. Morning to you and good Jumma Mubarak to you, my brother. Market open for half a day. Yeah, so it's going to be a quiet day for in terms of, yeah, because of New York. But anyway, let's have a look what's going on there. So, we've actually, bearish markets, you actually can see this. I mean, one can argue, right, is that if I were to take a trend line here and do this, I mean, if we were to lose this trend line here, right, so we can say that we're coming into this particular area here. What's so important about this particular area? This is the high from around here, which kind of comes into this area. And if dollar index is showing more bearishness, Bitcoin can actually start dropping down a bit more, and same as the stocks. We'll see how it goes. Play down into this area there. Once we get back up and lose this level there, break down this market structure as a swing play, play back down level to level. So there's a little bit more downside with it, I think, at the moment. I mean, in terms of the market though, we're getting capped, right? So what we're getting capped at, we're literally finding support off this particular area here. So you can see this high over here. Let me draw that. Oops. Draw this high there. That's the high that's finding support. Okay, so you can say that's a head, a left shoulder, head, bounce off it, do a right shoulder, and then lose this level there, and then come back down. Very possible, very possible. Is the weekly close coming up there? So as long if we hold above this level here, then what we're looking for, any retest, pull it back up into this area there. If we reclaim, fill out this inefficiency there, it just so happens that this high here could be the next top for dollar index, and then we come back down, lose this level, and go up there, and that'll be the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. For those who likes the meme kind of looks itself, I've been seeing. Then we fill out this inefficiency. Want to see this getting capped over here, this particular area, send the market down. Difficult to say. It is the monthly opens happening, monthly closes happening next week, so we're gonna see how it goes level to level. ES, quickly touch on ES. ES itself, it's been a bit of a boring day actually. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I do think there's more upside in the market. Oops, that's what we don't need that. I do think there's more upside in the market. Nothing's really changed as much yesterday from what we discussed, so there's nothing really to talk about it there. But I do think we do have some more upside to range high itself. Just like we've done the support, that support, a bit of a deviation on range low in September's range, mid range smash above it, clean smash above this, taking out this high there. We found some support of this high itself, and now we're rounding it up to the next set of legs over here. Do we come to 42.20? We don't know. We'll figure out as the time comes. It is Friday, so there's nothing much to say. In terms of Bitcoin, I think everyone's more interested in Bitcoin. What's happening on Bitcoin? Looking at the daily. Let's just try and squeeze this up there. And I want to talk about Bitcoin in terms of a higher perspective as well, right? And you guys are gonna make a bit of sense out of this, right? Profit taking to the end of the week. Yeah, it is profit taking time as well. So it's natural from the Monday itself. We made the Mondays low, and we're pushing up there. We come to the mid range, and at the mid range, what is this mid range? Really and truly, it's actually this mid range here between last week's Monday's high and last week's Monday's low. Is really last week's high and low anyway. That's where the liquidity is resting. We take out liquidity on Monday's low, meaning that there's liquidity resting at the top end at this high over here. So how do we take this? Well, really and truly, Monday's high hasn't been retested. So If it breaks down, we can look for a shorting opportunity to play it back down to here, and then we'll see how it goes. Once we reclaim and hold above it, show me bullish price action, target 1, target 2, and that's the trade done. Then we'll see what happens next. Do we do a deviation, or do we actually do a breakout on the upside? We'll figure it out as the time comes. But if we start to narrow this down onto the hourly, let's have a look. So the blue line represents the Monday's high, Monday's low, the mid-range. Okay, what we got here, we got a bit of a trend line over here. Okay, so I'm quite happy for price to come into this low here, come back down there. If I'm looking for shorts, let me just zoom into it. There we go. Right, I'm quite happy to take a little bit of a day trade, a scalp trade, whichever you want to call it. So let's just do this, right? So you can see this quite carefully, that that's the area where the trend line is actually being respected. We come up, number 1. So when we get, so we got resistance over here, sell off, come back up, resistance, sell off, come back up, resistance, sell off. We come back up and find another resistance, we do sell off there. And we're making lower lows, right? Can you see this? The market structure is shifting down on the downside itself. So I'm looking for an area potentially of where could be the area of support, right? So for me personally, I'd be looking at this area here, right? It comes to around the weekly open. And the weekly open is right over here. This is where the weekly open. Let me just draw this out. Make this black. Put this line here. The weekly open is, yeah, it's right, that candle there. That's the weekly open, right? And we got the Monday side. Okay, so what I'm looking for, if price were to come back up, where would I like for it to actually smack it back down? Well, you see this area of consolidation right here. This is the area that's actually consolidation, and we sell off. If we come back up, right, do a bit of a deviation, step back down, this will be my opportunity for me to enter a short stop loss over here to play it back down as target 1. Well, target 1 have to be here, target 2 there, target 3 into here, and I'm looking to fill out this inefficiency here. In all honesty, I want it to come back down. I do want it to come back down into this area here, and then from here, I'll cut the trade itself, and that'll be a very good trade for, you know, probably a good 2.5 hours itself. And once we establish support, reclaim Monday's high, that's your confirmation to play up to the mid-range. Once we get the breakout and any retest and hold above the mid-range, above this block, we play it next to level, and that's what I'll be looking for personally. So if I want to play the short, right, so that's the short idea. If I want to play a long, how would I play the long? Keep an eye on the what you call it, on the mid-range. Yeah, this is the last week's Monday's mid-range. If we were to break out of it, come back in, hold support, show me bullish market structure, because the market structure is showing high, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low. Is this the lower high and then do a lower low? I don't know. If we take out this high there, take out this high there, it increases my probability on the upside. Once we can do that, long this up there, target 1, and let's go back to target 2. Target 2, Monday's high. Why Monday's high? Because there's liquidity resting there. We've already taken out the liquidity on the downside. So that's the opportunity for both sides of the market, playing up or down. Okay? Happy Friday to you too, Joel. Nice to have you here, my brother. Always good to see friendly faces as well. Really, really good to see you guys there. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button. Let's keep going then. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum. Ethereum is pulling back quite heavily there. I'm selling this in the short trade itself. I haven't really left it. I'm going to look to cut it actually, probably, depending on what the market is saying as well. But it's, I mean, I've taken some sort of profits at the mid-range, took some sort of profits over here at the 25% range. Not much. Still got the majority of the trade. My stops have been trailed off. It's trailed down. My stops are over here, the double highs. Speaking of that, double highs there, there's liquidity resting here. So I do expect that price to be taken out. So how would I play this from a range band perspective going forward? Let's have a look at this. There we go. Yeah, this chart's probably better. So I'll be quite happy, right, with a pullback. So this is Monday's range, right? And this is the weekly open. What we got here, the blue thick line here, is last week's Monday's range. Okay, so we've got according to Coinbase, we've taken out the highs. Some charts hasn't, but we come back down, took out Monday's low, and then what we do, quite funnily enough, is that we have a deviation of Monday's low, of last week's Monday's low. That's a deviation there. So as long as this holds, right, shows me bullishness, I can take it long. So if you were to come back up and hold above it, bullish market structure, I can play it back up to the mid-range. From the mid-range, going to be a bit choppy. Once we show bullishness, play it back to 75% range and then to range high. And that will be a nice trade from one level, from range low to range high. So what I'll be looking for is, how would I get on board? Well, if I draw this out, right, so we got this block that I've highlighted in blue. That's an area that's acting as support at the moment. So if I were to draw like this, you can clearly see that's acting as resistance, resistance, resistance. All this was acting resistance. Once we break back above it, hold support, I can actually take a long, right, off this block itself, playing it back up to the mid-range, take out the double highs over here, the double tops there. Once we get back up, there's another set of double tops at the top side here at 1290, as you can see right over here. And that's how I like to play. And that's a really nice short play there. If I want to take a scalp play for shorts, will be this. 1 minute, let me just see what's dying off. Yeah, another way for me to take to look for playing shorts. Cut it finally. Cruise. Can you tell exactly how to recognize which direction price goes when come to range on low time frame? Well, it really is pretty simple, to be honest. Let me just finish up the Ethereum one, and I'll run that out for you. Do you think it would be smart to target 15,500 for what? For Bitcoin? Well, the only way I can actually target 15,500 down over here, well, the areas that you're looking at around this area here, is only if we come back into Monday's range. If we come back into here, shows bearishness, right? Starts breaking down, then I can say, yeah, play it back down to 25, back to mid range, fill out the inefficiency, which I was, be looking for a trade there. And then once we get back below here, smack it back down to 25, and then down to range around 15.5k, which is what you're looking for. And then we can say that's the deviation of Monday's range. That's the only way I can actually say that, right? So for me personally, right, I can't really say what's the probability just yet, because this could well be bullish, that we can come back down into the weekly open, reclaim the Monday's high, and then you can't say, well, hang on a sec, you can't say that we're going to go back into 15.5k, because if it was going to go to 15.5k, why are we finding support off Monday's high? So you're going to have to work this level to level, right? If it sets back down, right, takes out the lows from there, shows bearishness, that's your confirmation to play it back down to the mid-range, filling out all this inefficiency. I mean, one can argue, right, that we are going to go lower. Why? Because you got this trend line here. We've completely lost this trend line. I mean, it's some bullshit trend line, to be honest, but I'll probably use this one here. And you can say that we've lost the trend line there. So I need to retest into this area of consolidation right there from this area here. Retest this, breaks down. I can actually play it back down into the mid-range high, looking to see how we react. Once we get back below it, bearish market structure, that's your confirmation to continue back to mid, and then see we get back below, back to low. That's the only way for me to say that. Until then, you can't play it there, because as a day trade, right, you can't be focused on the idea. Listen, you can't be bearish, right? You can't just be continuously bearish. Look, yes, I'm in a BNB short, but I'm happy to cut this trade when I need to cut this trade. But at the same time, you gotta look at it as what is the probability. Probability of it going back to 15.5k at the moment is quite slim. Why? Because we're still above Monday's high. If we get below Monday's high and starts breaking down, then the probability increases to go down here, because then we say, okay, the magnet price will be the mid range. Then the next magnet price, if we get below it, will be the range low. That's how you would be looking for it. And answering what SB was saying is, how can you tell it how to recognize the direction price goes? It's market structure. When we get market structure, you got bullish market structure. We've done this many times. Just quickly touch base on it as well. So this is a bullish market structure when price is going up, higher highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. When we get a shift to market structure, we take out the higher lows, and we make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And that's how you can tell when the market is shifting and moving from one side. So one can argue that this is the low, that's the high, lower low, lower high, high, and that's a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So that low has got to hold, right? So if we come back into it and find support off the low, then the probability shifts up, because at the moment on lower time frame, we are making lower low, lower high, lower low. That's why it started to shift off, but we don't know the confirmation just yet until we take out this low. Does that make sense? And then once you step back in and you're finding resistance, any deviation and find resistance, losing particular lows, that's when you know, okay, that's the deviation of the range itself, and we're playing it back to mid and back to low. Hopefully that helps. Right, so back into ETH, what are we doing? Let's have a look. So ETH it's looking more bullish than bearish in my opinion, ETH, right? Because what we got here is this particular range here, this particular candle here. You know what? Let me just finish off this cigarette. We finish it up quickly, Mazen. There we go. So this particular range here is a very key factor for me. Why? Because this was acting as resistance, right? We had an inefficiency here. Price came back down, filled out the inefficiency, and he found resistance, comes back down, finds resistance, come back down, finds resistance, and it plays within the range, and we get back above it. Then what we do, we have a reclaim. Now we have a reclaim, and we hold it, and we're in this range itself. So as long as we hold this range here, I mean, I'm quite happy. Take a long, right? Take a long up into the mid range. But where would it increase my probability? We are finding resistance at this black line here. This black line is October's low. So once we step into October's low and we hold above it, take out these highs there, we have a shift in market structure, right? Why? Because if that was the high, and that was the lower low, and that's the lower high, and that's the lower low, this high shouldn't be taken out. So once we hold above it, back into the mid-range, from the mid-range, same scenario, play back to range high. And that's all it is. So that's my probability increase. And then at the same time, like I discussed just a couple of seconds ago, we've got this trend line going on, bit of resistance over here, bit of resistance here. If we come back up, break above it, hold it, we can play back up to mid, back to high. Take out these double tops there, take out these double tops there. That's all it is, okay? And then from there, we work out what happens next, okay? So from a perspective of what's happening, I think there's this probability of taking the highs there. If you look at the weekly, just quickly just touch on the weekly itself. Let me hide all this shit so you guys can see what I'm looking at. What we've got here is quite interesting enough, is that the price is playing within last week's range. You can't really argue with this, right? Anyone who wants to argue when, I don't understand how to make this more visible than it is. If that's the last week's high, let me just draw out the mid-range. The mid-range comes in approximately here. No, a bit lower. There we go. No. Fuck's sake. No, that was Monday. So, oops. Let me just do this. Come back into here. The mid-range comes into here. Right there. That's where the mid-range is. Right, let me bring this back to what I was doing. There we go. Cool. Let me delete this. All right. So this is what the range is at. What we've done a stop run of last week's low. We found resistance at the mid range. Okay. So any pullback and hold into it. Right. Bullish market structure. Play it back to mid range, back into range high. Why am I looking for range high for the high itself? Is because we are playing within the range. Price. Right, you gotta follow where price is, right? Here's an alpha for all you guys, right? BNB is pushing, motherfucker. I might have to cut this. We'll see. I might have to cut this and then wait afterwards. Anyway, Ethereum. Where was I? I need to bring this all the way back into how it was now. Fuck you know. There's the high, there's the low. Yeah, there we go. Right? So you follow where price is. Price is right here. We can all clearly see where price is, and it's within this candle itself. We're not below the candle. We're not above the candle. We're in the within the candle. So while it's within the candle, you're looking within the range itself. So increase your probabilities once we get back up. Hold above it. Play it back up to range high. That's all you gotta do. Nothing else. Keep it nice and simple, straight and sweet. So if I was to look at it, it's gonna be a bit of a boring day in my opinion. Only because of the holidays, really. So we've got to see how it works. When ETH is pushing up, ETH is pushing up. I'm quite happy to actually hold the BNB trade itself. Finding a bit of resistance at the same time. Let's go on the 1 hour. It's 15 minutes. Where did it come up to resistance? So if I want to be bearish, right? If I were to delete all this, right? We've got a range bound environment right here. Say this is range low. No, I'll say this is range low, and that's range high. Approximately there as an SR. It's come to approximately the mid range. I think the mid range comes to about here, just about, and a little bit higher. So we could come into a little bit higher and do something like this. Come back into here. But what I want to see is price to break down to fulfill my bearish price action to go back down lower for a retest and whatnot. Okay, then we play it level to level. That's pretty much as simple as that. As I can make it there. Don't overcomplicate the price there. Just keep it nice and level. I mean, like if you want to see price action itself, you can see that we've broken these areas itself. So we can come back for a retest quite sharply as well. But I do not want to see price reclaim this high. If I was going to be bearish, once we reclaim this high, then we say, yeah, fucking that's your final chance, your frontier to actually take the long itself. That's all it is really. LTC, let me quickly touch LTC. LTC is coming back for a retest of this range bound environment. You know, this is the low itself. No, I'll say this is the low. That's the low. It's coming back to the retest. Not a big deal. Big deal. It's not a big deal. BNB, fucking bastard. All right, okay. So, like I said, right, I'm quite happy. Look, I may have targets at range low itself, but at the same time, I'm not. That's just really is an extensive play. But we'll see how it goes. If I get stopped, I get stopped out. But what I'm looking for is that price, right? I don't want to see price reclaiming this area. Let me go on the 5 minutes and I'll break this down to you, just on a brief touch on this as well. Okay, so what I've got here, there's two things. Let me delete all this. Number one, I've got an area of consolidation. Right, I've got here is just this area here. Let me just tighten this up. Control Z. Right over here. This is the area of consolidation, and as you can see, this consolidation over here broke down. Retest once, retest twice, retest 3 times. It's bearish. So if we get a retest here and breaks down, we can play it back down level to level, right? Now, if you ask me what's the level, right, really and truly, this is the level itself. So I'll say this is range low, right? And that'll be range high. And you can clearly see, right, what we've got. We've got resistance, support, deviation. Deviation on the upside, resistance. If I was to look for where the mid-range is, the mid-range will come in about, I think it's about here, right? So we're about here, right? So we're above the mid-range, which is fine for it to come back up. But I want to see price break down, come back down to mid-range, come back down to range low. And that's like, you can scalp trade this, ping pong this over and over again. It's in this consolidation. Now, once it gets above, right? Let me just change the color on this one. Once it gets above this block here, right, this particular block, and reclaims and hold above it, I've got to switch the bias to longs, right? In the meantime, we've just got our consolidation here. There's nothing too fancy about it. It's just consolidation. Like, I will switch the longs once we get to here, and I'll play for higher prices. Where would I look for higher prices? It will be at freaking 332. That's the first my target there on the expansion play. This itself here, let me break this down, is a weekly range, right? So let me put on the daily. What we got here quite clearly, and one can argue, like, you know, that what we got here is a range band environment. Because here, that's the low and that's the high. Range band up, down, then we have a deviation on the upside, then we come back down, and then obviously we take out the lows of their deviation up there, we come back up, bit of a deviation. If this is a deviation, we should step back down, playing it back down level to the mid-range, see we go down to range low. And that's how I'll be looking for it as a play itself. It's aggressive. When I play aggressive trades, doesn't mean that I'm gonna be right every single time. If I want to play a trade and say what is the confirmation, then this is the confirmation really. So we discussed what the range bound environment was, which was this low here to this high here. That's where the price is getting capped. If I want to say, yeah, what is the confirmation, I'll have to wait for price to come back down, break down here. This will be my confirmation over here, for example, to play it back down to where at least target 1 will be here. That'll be my first target there. Why is it so important? Why? Because we got all this inefficiency and we fill it out. Does it have to fill out the inefficiency like now or in the next couple of days or weeks? Not necessarily. We can still be bullish, right? And pop up and keep going up higher for higher prices before coming back down to filling out this inefficiency whenever it wants to in 2023 or whenever the fuck it wants to do. So I'm playing this aggressively. I'm still in the trade. There's no need for me to cut the trade, and that's the plan for BNB in terms of shorting the market there. Like, I like shorting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people may hate it, but I like shorting. I'm in profits at the moment, but I'm happy to play this as it is. I mean, another way of looking at it is this way. Is that, well, I'll show you the breakdown. So this is the high here. What's gapping the market is like that. Once we get back up, we get a bodily close above it, and you retest and hold above it. Then we can play it back up to 338 or 337, whichever the time it is. And that's when I'm happy to take a long there. So I'm happy to be wrong. This is my second opportunity of taking a short here. Been a little bit patient about this. I did plan this with the guys on the DCC and we'll see how it goes as well. Level to level play. I am leaning honestly, I am leaning bearish a bit. Why? Because of this, and it just so happens all it's done support, 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 breaks out of it. There's a retest. I just want to see it come back down, lose this low here, give me the confirmation, fucking send this back down. Let's go into these areas there, and then we'll see what happens there. Well, if he comes into this area here and finds support, bullish market structure, then I'll take I'll cut the trade. I'm happy to cut the trade. So you've just found support on the SR on lower time frame. Let's have a look. A lot of it is going to pop off today. So if I look at the 1 hour, right? So you see, as a play, right? It's this, right? So let me just highlight this. You see this area here. This is the area on the hourly. We've got 36 minutes to see how this works out there. If he closes above here, that gives us an indication there's going to be a long breakout. And he retest, hold above it. Then I can say, yeah, let's play on the breakout there. And that was a deviation of this particular area here. So that's what I'm looking for. You can see this block here, support, support, break it down, resistance, comes back down, resistance, resistance, get back up, shift the market structure, and let's see what we got. So let's see what happens there. Like I said, if like this low has to hold, right? If I was going to play aggressively, right? If I'm going to take a trade, this low has to hold for me to go back up. That's what I want to see. We do have a little bit of inefficiency there. We could come back down and swipe down and then still come back up and be bullish. We don't know, but if it is going to be bullish, we want to see a close above here, above this block here, and see what happens there. At the moment, right, it does look like it's just a retest of this area here. I mean, confirmation, like I said, has to be above this to play up there. And that's pretty much it. Nothing much more different to what the explanation was yesterday, really, as well. Any questions before I head off, really? Fucking hell, it's cold, man. Doge popped as well, man. Fucking hell, Doge should really take a run. Let's have a look at it. Come to range high. Let's see what happens now. If the market is going to shift and be bullish, right, in terms of Doge, how would I like to play this? Well, on Doge on the 1 hour, so let me just highlight this area. See this particular area here? Go resistance, resistance, come back there, resistance, come back there, resistance. Here it's against resistance, still acting as resistance. So you can't really be long just yet. I wouldn't be long myself personally. How would I like to get long? Confirmations to get back above, and then we can say playing it up for higher prices. But if it comes back down, and this is range high. I'll show you the range high in a second. It goes back down below the range high, breaks down, loses the low there, play it back down. I mean, we'll see how we react there. As soon as we break down here, take out the liquidity on the bottom side over there, on this low here and this low there, play it back down to the 75% range. And what is that range itself? Let me show you on the daily. It's a weekly range, right? And all it is just this whole body candle is actually encapsulated here. So that's the low, that's the high. Come up to high, find support, come back up, higher prices, lower highs, higher lows. And then what happened is, of course, it's the bull run. We smashed above it and we went bullish, like full on BEM, like bull mental fucking nonsense there. So that's how we're looking at it at the moment. Ethereum on the hourly, let's have a look quickly. So London, where was London? London could have made the low right here. This could be the low of London, and then in New York we pump up. Very, very possible as well. Same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trying to push up as well. It is a dead man zone for me. Like it's a difficult one to play for me to long. I'm not in any longs on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll increase my probability once we get back above. Really and truly. That's really it. I'm gonna wait for it. If I'm wrong on the BNB short, I'm wrong on the BNB short. But we'll see what happens. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much it really. Yeah, Doge's looking crazy. Looking at shorts of Doge, yeah, same here. Like I agree with in terms of Doge looking for shorts because of the resistance of that particular block that I showed. But you gotta flip bias. I wouldn't take shorts just yet. So let me just highlight this, right? So if I were to highlight from here to there, right? How would I look at the play? Let's go on to 50 minutes. Okay, we've run these highs over there. So all these highs there have been run off there, right? Run these highs there. I mean, the market structure has shifted. You have to admit, right? The market structure shifted went from literally this here, because if you look at it this way, it's on the 15 minutes. We made a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, not there. I think we made a lower high, lower low, And then what happened was this low here in particular was we made a deviation of it, come at support, come into here, back into there, bit of support, deviates it, holds into place, and the high that you'll be looking for is this particular high. We have a breaking market structure from this wick here itself, right? But then where would you get your confirmation? It's once we get a clean bodily close above it, and he retests off that high itself. It's a range bound environment, as you can see, and that's the breakout play, taking out this high, and then you'll be looking for liquidity all the way up here. And as you go, I'll be looking for targets up to there, right? And as you can see, he actually did the fucking range. He actually broke out of it. He come into here and it's popped into this area. So if I want to look for shorts now, right, I need to see price. I wouldn't enter into shorts here because I'm already into one shorts. I don't want to over risk my account. I need to see price do its thing, whatever it wants to do. Once it gets back below here, right, loses the low itself, bearish market structure, that will give me an increased probability with a stop loss over there to play it back down, filling out all this inefficiency back into this level here, and then we'll see how it goes. Pops into here, breaks down, and then let's go back lower. That's the way to do it. But then where I'll be bullish is once we get back up, hold above it, bullish price action, off we go. You have to take the long there, right? You can't argue that you can't be bearish once we're breaking these highs itself. These are key highs there itself. If you look at it on the 4 hours, I think you can see like it's in. Well, you can argue of this, right? It's in a range band environment. What is the range band environment that we are? Well, that's the range high, right? I'd say that would be the range high, and this would be the range. So yeah, I'd say this is the range low, right? And that's the range band environment. No, I wouldn't say that. Probably use this one here in particular. Yeah, I'll use this one in particular. And as you can see, we do a deviation over here. Come back there, deviation with final support, play it up to mid-range to range high. And that's all it is. The same situation. So if ETH and BTC start showing bullishness or show some sideways, I think alts have a more side on the upside to go. And that's what we're looking for. Won't be playing it for any longs just yet. I'm just gonna have a little bit of a look at what's going on there. Let's have a look at ETH there. In the 1 minute. Hide this there. Breaking market structure on the 1 minute though. That's the high. Broke out this high. So any retest and hold above it, I'll be looking to actually take a long, playing it up. Take at these highs over there and higher prices on the upside. Looking more bullish though, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Speaking about that, BNB. Let's see. See, I don't like looking at BNB on the 1 minute because you can't really see anything. It's just so fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? So still in the short. You know, I've entered around somewhere around here. Where was it? Yeah, I entered here, and so that's it. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Because I'm still in the short, so I'm looking at this. This is working out. Not that low. It's this low here. This low there. There we go. And as you can see, support, deviation, support. Lose this level there. Come back up as a little deviation. Come back down. Resistance. Looking to sell off there. At least I want to see how price for my my shorts react off this high. If we come into it and hold above it, I'll look to cut the short then. And then I'll be looking to flip this up for longs and play it within the range band environment, which we discussed about there. That's pretty much it. But yeah, 11.92 for support. Let's have a look. You're seeing off around this low here, particular. That's what you're looking for. I think we're gonna pull back down a bit deeper. I mean, I know what you're saying to me. What you're telling me is this. It's approximately this particular low here, right? So that's what you're looking at. So if it comes into this, hold above it, that increases my probability for the upside to play up. So that's already it as well, to be honest. In terms of a scalp play, can't really say a scalp play over here. We missed out the scalp play on the 5 minutes here not too long ago. I mean, the scalp play would have been around from around 10:50, yeah, about 11 o'clock. So what we've got, if this was the market structure of being bearish, but a flat body candle up there on the upside. Come back down. This is the low that we came into it. Deviation, step back into these consolidation there. Final support there, and we blasted off there. So we missed that opportunity there. Never mind. We'll see where it goes. I was actually on on the VC with them, with the geezers there. So we'll see how he goes. Fucking hell, it's cold, man. Shit, man. I left the window open like a dickhead. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. That's the plan as well. Nothing much to say. It is a weekly close, monthly close coming up as well. So I'm gonna be a little bit cautious there. Let me just break this down to you guys. One more thing as well. Why there's a potential for bullishness as well. All right. So if I go on the 12 months, right? I just wanna spend a couple of minutes with you guys on this, and then we're gonna call it a day. Okay. So what's happened here is, right. The price we're coming. We got 1 month and 7 days left for the yearly close, right? So when you get a candle, right? So you get like any sort of candle. We got a body, got a wick, we get the body itself, and then we get a wick itself. How prices, which you remember, we discussed this, right? When you got a monthly open, a yearly open, and whatnot, closer to the weekly close, a monthly close, daily close, or even a yearly close, you get a pullback. So this is a downward candle there here, right? Everyone can agree that's a downward candle. We're gonna get a pullback. So if you look at it this way, if we're gonna get a pullback, how we're gonna get a pullback, right? Like a pullback, as in a push in the market up there to give a bit more of a decent wick. Because if that's the wick there, we want to get a decent wick like that, right? This is a small wick there. We can't expect price to keep collapsing on itself to get a flat body candle or towards the end of the month. It's possible, but we can't expect that, right? So one thing you'll be looking at is that you're looking at the range it's at. For me, the range it's playing at is in 2020's range, right? That's 2020 high, 2020 low, and the mid range comes to about, I believe that's where the mid range is. Okay, that's where it does look about right, to be honest as well. So what happened is, right, we always say this is a deviation of 2020's mid range, right? We've come back, we've lost this level here, we come back into the mid range itself. And what's important is, right, always remember at the mid range you're gonna have a reaction. Do we come back down here? We most likely can. I'm not range low itself. We most likely can come back down here into these highs itself, and then maybe find some support and go back up. That's a possibility. You can't always override that. But at the mid range, you're gonna see price getting choppy, playing around before he makes a decision. If he's gonna be bullish, it breaks up, goes on the upside. It's gonna be bearish. It's gonna do this, something like that, breaks down, and then we play on the downside of level to level play, right? So using that as your barometer, let me just highlight that. Oh yeah, I already highlighted it. Oh, there you go. Let's go on the 1 week. Let's delete some of this bullshit here. Just make it nice and clean. Just at least less bullshit here. And I'm just gonna run this with you, so you guys can understand what I'm trying to say. Delete everything else there. So what we got? We got the yearly, right? That's 2020's low, and that's 2020's high. Okay, it's on the weekly. It doesn't look drawn to scale, but that's what it is. As you can see, right, we are at the mid range. We've found spot range high. Once we start losing this level here, we can find a retest off of there, and we play it back down to 75% range. Come back down. It's choppy around the 75% range before we come back to the range, to the mid range. Now is at the mid range. If we are going to expect some sort of reaction there. We've got a thin body here, right? Like some inefficiency there. It's very, very possible that price can come back, reclaim off this low here in particular, find support and come into this level there, and then we'll see what happens there. That's target 1, and then we look for target 2. That's a very possible possible trade coming back into this area of consolidation. Then does it do something like this to play back down to mid range, and then squeeze it back down into these particular highs that we're looking for, and into this area of order block right over here. So that's what we're looking for. But then as December pushes the market up, this will give us the wick of the body like this, something like that, instead of actually having like this, right? So, and then it's just a pullback, right? We're due for a pullback one way or another, but what I would like to do is monitor this level to level without without rushing into anything as well. There's arguments for bullishness, and there's also arguments for bearishness. I can agree with this bearish plays, and I can agree with bullish plays as well. I'm a day trader as well. I play things on a very smaller scale of price itself. But what I do want you to guys to remember is do not lose sync of the higher time frame. Always find where price is reacting, where price is actually playing in. Price is always in a range. I believe price is in a range. I just showed you that price is playing in 2020's range. That's 2 years old. 2 years ago we're playing back into that range, and that's all we're doing. Nothing too fancy. Just play it level to level. Do we go to 28k? I don't know. Do we go to to 20K? I don't know. Do we go to 12K? I don't know. Me telling you I don't know means to you that I don't fucking know. And I'm sure everyone else is in the same position. They don't really fucking know. If you're gonna actually start saying, yeah, we're gonna go down lower, we're gonna go down lower, by all means, right? Like, look, for example, there's a number of influencers, including myself, who are bearish, right? I'm bearish too, but I play on a day trade. For example, I can play the longs, I can play the shorts, but you don't want to be stuck, right? A lot of new traders out there, right? They get stuck into the idea of being bearish because you know why? Because when the bearish place keeps hitting and you're shorting and shorting and shorting, and it's hitting left, right, and center, and you're smacking it out there. I done a BNB trade. Was it 2 days ago? Yesterday, I got stopped out. I'm taking a second BNB trade at the moment. I'm prepared to be stopped out. Right? To me, it's a scalp play evolving into a day trade, potentially to a swing trade. Right? Now, I'm happy to manage my risk, but you have to be able to actually switch bias. Now, trading, like the problem is when you have a higher time frame bias, right? You also got to look at, like, maybe look, the higher time frame bias at the moment, we can all agree it's bearish. Everyone can agree with that. But at the same time, if you're gonna start saying, yeah, it's bearish, so we're gonna stay as bearish, but when do you flip bias? When do you flip bias on the higher time frame bias? You gotta be able to actually understand what the market is doing and play the leg it's playing. So for, like, if you think about it, like, look, dollar index, right? For many weeks, right? Not many weeks, many months, right? They're trying to time the top of dollar index. You've all seen it on Twitter. You may have seen it on YouTube. But everyone's trying to time the top of dollar index. Now the top is happening on dollar index, right? Now you look at the you're still bearish on Bitcoin. Like, yeah, we've had a shit show going on at the moment. We've got the situation that happened with Sam and CZ. That was unexpected. I think that's really nuked the market harder than anything else, and it's made a lot of people scared. Now you got two options right now. You either sit back and let the price unfold itself and show you the direction he wants to play. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you'd be like, you know what? I'm down to play the day trade. And if you're playing day trades, right, you have to be very, very, very assertive to the areas of price. So, for example, you're using weekly ranges, you're using your Mondays range, you're using like a lower time frame. You might find a range on a 15 minutes or an hourly, and you play within the bases. And the fact that, like, when you can play lower time frame and you're so easy to actually, it becomes easier to flip bias because within a range bound environment, you're playing from the low to the mid, mid to the high, high to mid, mid to the low. And when you're doing that, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna spark up a little one. Not, I think I spark up a cigarette. Sorry, I have another one, man. I've smoked too much, man. And when you're playing the range bound environment, right? You're flipping bias when you're playing low to mid, mid to high, and then back down, up and down, up and down. You're flipping bias, and if you can do that, you can also do the same when it comes to any sort of time, whether you're scalping, or you're day trading, or you're swinging. So just because I'm in a short on BNB doesn't mean I'm absolutely right. I'm happy to be wrong, right? I'm absolutely happy to be wrong, but at the same time, I've got to play it level to level. So we're coming to resistance. So as the principle of coming into resistance, we're gonna come for a pullback, right? And then look what happened to Doge. Speaking about resistance, it's actually pulling back. It's on the hourly. That's BNB. What the fuck am I doing? Doge. Where's Doge? See how it's pulling back. So remember that area that we discussed, which was around about here. We close. We've got 18 minutes to close, right? And that gives us an indication there's more of a pullback to play back into where? To these areas here. Target 1, and that'd be target 2. So if we step back up, again, that's still resistance, and this will give us a confirmation. Now, if I were to highlight this, let me just highlight the block itself, and then let me just run this down with you guys as well. So that's the low around here, and that's the high around there. That's it. So let's go on the 5 minutes, right? And let's just see how it works. You see how price gets up into the block, and you see how price now finds, like, it gets into it on the 5 minutes. Yeah, cool, nice body. Next 5 minutes, find some support. This 5 minutes starts to break down. Now, if I start to narrow this down, it's on the 10 minutes, sorry. And if I narrow this down on the 1 minute, you start to see that we've got a range bound environment here. And how would you play the short here? Again, this is all education content here for you guys. Well, we got a range bound environment, so we've got I would use here the high over there and the low over here. Quite clearly, yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. the low of this candle here and the high of this candle here. We've got a deviation, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. We run the highs over here quite clearly. See this double top here? We run the highs there, come back to range low. That's a scalp trade there. And as you get back down, this is the key low here. And as you can see, we come back down. We find some, we find resistance, resistance. We lose the body there. What happened is we come back there, one more retest there. I mean, you can put a stop loss above the block itself. Hot invalidations up there. Play a scalp trade where at least into these level here, and that's not a bad trade actually. Fucking hell, I should have done that, bastard. Should have done that. Absolutely, bomb biggie. Absolutely, risk management is key. Like I said to you, like look, I may risk 2% of my account on a day trade, right? I stick to 2% of my account. Now, if I make a loss, right? If I make a loss, my idea in my head is like I want to make that money back. So what I do is my second trade, like I'm a bit cautious. Sometimes I'm aggressive because I can see the pattern unfolding itself, but sometimes I play this really thingy cautious. So remember, like when I took the loss on BNB, I came on the stream, did a live session, and target hit. It was a 4.2 hour trade. It was a scalp trade. I risked half an hour on there, and the actual fact it walks away with 2.1. So 2.1 R mitigates that 1 hour loss, and I've actually made a 1 hour trade for on top. So it's not a bad trade there. So level to level. So now that price is coming back up, right? I can see price coming back up. Why? Well, we're coming back into this area of consolidation right here. You can see this area. That's the consolidation. You can find that support. Once we lose this low, once we come back into here, hold support, break out these highs there, we can play it back at the target 1 over here. Target 2 will be here. That's a scalp trade there. There's scalping there. And then once we lose this low here, play it back down to the range high, get below the range high, which we discussed, then we play back lower. That's the way you play it, and that's the way I play it in terms of a lower time frame. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of it as well. Smash the likes of everyone. Appreciate that you guys being here. And yeah, let's just see how the rest of the day happens as well. It's going to be a bit of a quiet one, really, because of the holidays for the Americans. So I don't think New York's going to do much. I could be wrong. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So in this trade, I want to get back under. This is 1 minute, 10 minutes. I want price to get back under this range high here. This is the weekly range high, the top of the blue box. I want to see us get back into here. I want to see how this price reacts over here. If it holds support, I'm happy to cut the trade. It's not a bad trade, to be honest. I mean, like if I were to cut the trade over there, what's the fucking R there? If I were to cut it over here, that's a 1.5. Come on, you can't go wrong with 1.5. You know what I'm saying? You really can't go wrong with that. But we'll see how it goes. So I'll give you the setup in terms of where the confirmation is. Lose this low here. That's your confirmation to play back down into these highs over there. And first things first, I'll look for the mid-range. The mid-range will come. Let's just do a quick. What the fuck is outside squeezing their fucking tires like that? The mid-range comes into 278. So I can see price coming to here. If it comes into there, holds under 278, bullish price action, cut the rest of the trade. Fuck it. We'll go back up. Play back up. Feel like this. We'll see what the price actually says to unfold itself. But we'll see. We'll see. That's your confirmation for shorts to play it back to mid-range. From the mid-range, we'll see what happens. If we lose the mid-range, break it back down. 75% range is target 2. I'll front run it into this one as target 3, and then that'll be final target 4. And that's how it is. And that's how we're looking to play it. If we come back down to here and find support, reclaim, cut the trade. Just cut the trade and walk away. So we'll see what happens. Coming back below it, 3 minutes left to go. That's the area that I want to see. As soon as we get back below it, then I can say that was a deviation of this particular range here. So let's see. I'm guessing ETH is pulling back 1192. Yeah, it's coming back into this area here that we discussed, which is it here. That's the range low. This is the range high. I'd say yeah. I'd say this is the range high. So we'll see. We've got to time this up together. All right. Cool. Just discovered your channel. Oh, thank you, Starsky. And price action and trading. Great stream. Like your trading style. How best would you recommend I get up to speed? Best resources and courses. Have a top weekend. Ooh. So I've done like 116 streams. Done 116 streams, And there's a lot of alphas I've posted that I've done in the early streams. I can't remember when. Um, in the first 70 streams or so, 70 or 80 streams, what I've done is yeah, there's not a lot of analysis. I do my analysis every Monday to Friday. Um, mm, Thank you, Cruz. So I do a lot of analysis on Monday to Friday itself, and at the same time, like I spend a lot more time in the DCC, the Daink Country Club. For those who don't know what the Daink Country Club, if you go to on the description below here, you can actually have a look at. It goes to a website. Let me go to it. I plug myself in. I've done shadow. Let me plug myself in. I think I deserve it. TraderDank.com, and that's the website. Check it out there. We do all it tells you about us and whatnot. You can ask any questions, services. You can check out all the services we do. Access to Discord, regular live sessions, plans on Bitcoin, Ethereum, several alts. We do some homeworks there. Go get some more homeworks out for the guys there. A lot of education section going on there. And what I've been doing lately is spending a lot of time, and you can check out the testimonials as well. What people are saying about it is entirely up to you. What I have been doing lately is I spend a lot of time in the voice chat, and to really break things what you call it, to break things down in terms of like what I'm seeing and what I'm playing, and some of the trades and what I'm doing. I've done a lot of that, so we've been doing that quite regularly actually, to be honest. So you guys can check that out as well. So, and you can join in whenever you're ready as well. So US 100, Michael Caffrey's asking a nice question there. Can't really, not thinking disappoint him. Let's have a look. Just so happened, I can't remember what I've highlighted here, level to level. Okay. Let me delete this all. Let me do a top-down analysis on this, on US 100. That's 2021's range that you got here, highlighted in purple. That's the low and that's the high. It does look quite. Look, we're finding some sort of support. Where we find some support off is literally from here. This is the NASDAQ for those who don't know what it is. US 100. Where was it again? Where did I find this? There we go. That's it. So the support, you see this high here, right? That's the key of support there. So we're gonna naturally find a price to push up. I'm bullish on ES, so which means I have to be bullish on the NASDAQ, and it does show me that it is going. You know that there's some the probability of it going higher is there. Why? So if we got this high here, and this is a key SR level there, right? You can clearly see it. That's the resistance, deviation, support, deviation, support. We blow past back up. We come back down to the point of origin, support, do a bit of a deviation, and we smash back up. Market structure has shifted in this aspect. So let me just delete this and let me just play this out like that. September's high is here, and September's low is here. Okay, so let's do another range there. So September's high is here, September's low was there, right? And you can clearly see that what we've got here, we come at the mid-range. So we come at the mid-range. To get bullishness, right, I want to see come back up, reclaim this high itself, and that will be a target to 75% of range, and we're going to 2021's range low. In this particular area here, we got an area consolidation, right? Right over here, it's been acting as a bit of a fuckery. So we're gonna get a chop there, and I'll be looking to squeeze up to September's high. Honestly, I'll be looking for September's high itself, right? So now what we look for is price to go back up, hold into this range, come into this high there, and that'll be the target there. I'll be watching how price unfolds. I'm expecting a pullback over here. Once we get back up and hold above it, play it within the 2021's range level to level itself. How high can it go? I don't fucking know, right? I don't know. I would like to see it, to be honest, because if you look at the market structure itself, right? If I were to hide this, the market structure is showing bearishness itself. So you see how market structure is all bullish from here, bullishness, right? From there, we come back up, high, well, we do a stop run itself, high, low, high, low, stop run, runs out, bearish market structure. Then from here, high, low, high, low, and we are grinding up on the upside over here. And then once we lose this low, the market structure shifts. So if I change the color, what we have, let me just delete this off. Let me just zoom into here. And what we have is the market structure is starting to shift on the downside. Once we lose this low here, let me just draw this out again. Market structure shifted, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low. Well, I wouldn't say that's lower high. Right, that's lower low, lower high, making new lower low there. And the fact we come into here, I mean, does it come into this here to find a new lower high to sell off, or does it come into this area here to find a new lower high to sell off? So these are the two areas we'll be looking for, but you're working it out level to level. If it was to be bearish, I do think the Fed pivot is going to be bearish. I do think the Fed pivot is going to crash the market a bit lower. How low would it go to? Well, I wouldn't mind it coming back down to here, to be honest, off this area here. From a range band perspective, right? Let's put it on the weekly. I wouldn't mind it coming to here as a crash right back into this particular area there. And that's where I'll be looking to see how we react off there. So we come into here as a lower high off this particular consolidation over there, breaks down, sends it back down. And let's say the Fed pivot is over here, you know, you can put a stop loss there, playing it back down to, well, level 1, level 2, and then from there, that'll be level 3. That'll be the third target there. And as we establish some sort of price action as well, some consolidation, break out the consolidation, and then we have the new bull market on the upside, playing it level to level on the upside there. So we see there's a lot of plays on the downside to, you know, that it can happen, but for the time being we have to agree that the US 100, the NASDAQ, is showing bullishness. Why? Well, on the daily, lower time frame, let's go on the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, I was going to end the stream a little while ago. Right, on the 4 hours, what we've got, this is a range band environment, so that's the high and that's the low, right? And what we've got a breaking market structure on from here, range band environment over here, breaks the market structure, come back down. We've got an inefficiency there. I mean, I would only play this move here is if we come back into here, right? Come off this block over there, find support, bullish market structure, play on the upside. But if it comes down into here, breaks down, finds resistance, then I play it back into the mid-range, which will be approximately here at the same time, looking to fill out the inefficiency level to level. So we'll see how it goes. ES, it's let's have a look at the monthly quickly. Strong buys though. You can see that long ass wick. You see this long wick. That's strong buys here. Very strong buys. So we want to see how it goes. I mean, how high can it go? I mean, if we can go into this area, that's the key level, a key SR, which comes into approximately where just below the mid-range, just below September's high. So do we come up, take out September's high, then get back below here, close below here on the monthly in December probably, and then we can send it back down. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But that's really is the idea that we're looking for, okay? So, UK, fucking US 100, fucking sorry about that, Michael. That's my mistake. About to call it a day, but let's do UK 100. UK 100. We'll work the same. Oh, fucking hell. UK 100. What the fuck are you doing? Alright, so what are we playing in, right? So we've got this. This is the range band environment. We step back into that. Right, let's just play this out. Purple. Top down analysis. Right, let's you know what? Fucking just delete that for a second. Let's go on the 12 months. 12 months doesn't look good though. You know, like, yeah, all we've pretty much done is run the highs of this high here, right? So that's what is done for the 12 months. I mean, we played within this range really, in the 12 months range. That's what we played at actually. From here to there, that's the 12 months. We come to the mid range. How the mid range? We're at range high itself. Now the question is, do we get back up and close? Like if we close above here on the yearly, right? Then it gives us more incentives to any retest and hold above it. Play on the upside, right? So let's just narrow this down level to level. Quarterly, what we got here? Quarterly range, right? So 2021's high, 2022's high is here. That's 2021's low, 2021's high. We come in the mid range, do a deviation in the mid range, and we come up to range high. So the fact that we come into the 2021's high there is at resistance. So now I want to start narrowing it down of a potential short play now. So monthly. Let's go on the weekly. Monthly, we come back into this range here. I mean, does it take out this high here? There's a double top right here. Does it take out this high there? If we close above strongly on the monthly, then yeah, I can say yeah. On the upside, we can take out these highs for a quick trade there. But let's have a look on the weekly. Weekly saying weekly's coming into resistance of like, yeah, key resistance really. I mean, where would the resistance would be? It's right here actually. This is the area of resistance. this particular here. Just trying to narrow this down properly. There we go. That's it. And as you can see, this consolidation over here, right? This consolidation over there, sell off, come out resistance, come back up. This lower high, this high holds, so it makes a lower high, goes back down, makes another lower high, holds, come back down, takes out this low. This lower high still hold. Too many fucking thingy lines there. That high holds, lower high, sells off, comes back into the lower high, sells off. We'll retest it one more time, sells off, and that which really comes down to, if we on the weekly, that's the weekly. Let me just highlight this area here. So it was right over here to there. That's where the weekly. Let's go the daily. Let's try to narrow this down. It's resistance, fam. Resistance. You know what I'm saying? It is, to me, is resistance. If I wanna to take this trade, where we come back to, you see this particular low here. This low is acting as resistance. So we've got a low here. You know, come back down, resistance, deviation, resistance, it's come back to resistance again. So as it's coming to resistance, how would I take the trade if I would take a short? Is let it do its thing. Once we get back below, I mean, we're not too far from range high, which is 74.70. 74.72. That's 2021's high. Once we get back below 2021's high, make a bearish market structure, then you can say, yeah, send this back to 25% range, and then we'll see we can play back into this particular high, and then get back into the mid range. That's what I'll be looking for as a swing trade. If you were to hold it from the swing trade from this high here, it's a long fucking time. But I'm quite leaning towards bearishness on this, well, on the UK 100, because as we come into here, it's looking bearishness. I mean, that's one way. Another way you can look at it this way is that we have this trend line there. We are coming towards the end. It just so happens that this peak over here turns to be the base of this consolidation over here, which is acting as resistance. So if it comes into here, does something like that, breaks down, that's your shorting opportunity. I mean, you can enter a short into here with your invalidation here. That's your invalidation, your probability of that. Because once we get back up and hold above it, then we're looking for bullishness. With the idea of Fed pivot coming around the corner, whether it's going to be in 2023 or whether it's going to be in December, we don't know. And I do think the Fed pivot is going to be bearish in terms of the market itself. So we'll see what happens here. And then if he sells off, play it back down level. That's what I'm looking at, to be honest, on the daily. Speaking about Fed pivot, the last one was in the Great Recession. Was in 2007. Oh, we don't have anything here. UK 100. Let's see. I'll be able to have a look. Do you have a thingy? Do you know what the chart is for UK 100? Like, what's the name? Because like you got S&P. Sorry, I can actually see what happened in 2007. It's FTSE, isn't it? Yeah, it's FTSE. What the fuck am I looking at? FTSE. Okay. Let's do the top one. Let's see. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, here we go. Fucking hell, that's nasty. The fuck is that looking shit? UK 100, no wonder. No wonder, yeah. That's what I was looking. I was looking for. Wonder. Here we go. That's thank you so much for that, sir. So the Great Recession happened in the US in December of 2007. 2007. Oh, here we go. October, and you can see it. So, and then where's December? December's right here. That's December there. So let's just focus on this area here. Let's go on the weekly, right? And I just want to show you to you because if we and they had a Fed pivot, right? So 2007. Let's work this out. Look at there's not much difference to this, isn't it? When you look at it, there really isn't too much difference there. The same situation's happening. Look at this. That's the area consolidation right here, right? What happened is consolidation. No, let me highlight the whole thing. The whole thing is around here, right? About there. And as you can see, consolidation for a number of months. Come back down, come back up. This high holds, right? This high holds, or if it is or whatever, is a double top or whatever, comes back down, comes back up, still range bound, sells off on. We close below the range itself. This consolidation, come back up as a retest, come back down, one more retest, second retest, fucking sell the motherfucker down, and it looks the same. It looks the fucking same, you know, from that perspective. December it was December the 7th. It was the day of my boy's birthday when they had the announcement of the Great Recession. I think 7th or 8th. I can't remember his birthday. Fucking, I haven't spoken to him for a while, but I remember that really well. And then look, it just happens that it was just a stop run there, and then it's going back up. One more retest, bang, sell the motherfucker down, take out these lows there, and it comes back up into this area here, bang, sells off like a motherfucker, and we took a little while to recover. So looking at that, it doesn't look very different from here. You know, when you think about it, it doesn't look much different. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm leaning bearishness in my honest opinion from here. Just you can actually draw that on your own chart as well. Okay. No, you're never late, bird. Don't worry about it, man. Oops, late. Trade. Work is work, man. Always, you gotta respect your work. It's your graft as well. So I respect that, and I really appreciate you coming here, man. Thank you so much for that, brother. Got a nice Doge Scalp. Thanks to you. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Fucking big man thing, innit? What's Doge saying at the moment? Oh, 1 minute for a second, and then we're gonna call it a day. See, back to range low. So I'm quite happy. Now, if you want it to get back below, I mean, we're gonna expect some sort of bounce, which is perfectly fine. Whether it bounce into here, however hard the pullback is, let it do its thing. Once we get back below here, bearish market structure, you can enter in, send the motherfucker back down. That's all it is, really and truly. Okay, BNB, it's still fucking about, man. It's being a bit of a toss spot here, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys actually being here. Thank you so much for actually watching the show. Smash the likes as well. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.